Hello everyone, it's Aderonke. I hope your day is going well. Today I'd like to talk about another metaphor that is very doing the most, extending too far beyond one's expectation, what is expected of one, very anti that. There are very many sayings and just, I suppose, clues, even proverbs that tell one that even if it's not the very first set of Yoruba ancestors, within the past few centuries, I suppose, maybe counting back 900 years from now at least, our ancestors that have lived within that time frame were very anti people just doing the most. There are very many proverbs and sayings and clues for not saying everything that one's eyes see. For example, very many metaphorical descriptions of people and things like mafilo mindasi, just as much as it was a communal kind of living, as communal as the Yoruba people have been, boundaries were still expected. Boundaries were indeed a thing. I suppose that was why a certain level of sanity was kept. There are even folk tales, even several things. Like there's one about children being able to talk right from the womb, even if they don't. Well, as the story goes, there was a time when babies used to be able to talk even right after birth, but they could imitate words. So I suppose they didn't really know what they were saying, but if you said to a baby, "Kare," for example, the baby could imitate that sound even if it wasn't audible. So it is said that there was a time like that, and a lot of people got into trouble. There were like mothers, let's say, minding their own. I suppose I'm trying to remember the story correctly. It was an older woman that, I don't want to, it sounds too Hollywoody when you say, oh, she laid out a curse. It wasn't a curse, it was just like a request to a lady marry that children shouldn't really be able to make sounds like right after birth. It was either one woman or a group of women that made that request, because a lot of people just got into trouble. If babies heard something, let's say they passed by somewhere, for example, and they heard something, if it wasn't really their father that did that thing, or it wasn't really their mother, but they made a sound or made something that made people think, oh wow, so this is what you do, or made their father think this is what their mother did when they were not around, if you get the drift, or make their mother think this is what their father did when they were around, when they simply just place them on their back them past that place or carry them past that place, there was just a lot of trouble that it caused. So there are many folk tales and many clues about just the general againstness of doing the most or saying the most or not maintaining a decent level of boundaries, of knowing one's boundaries. The one that I'm going to be addressing today is Mi Deleru. Mi Di Eleru. Mi Deleru. First, let's take a look at what the words themselves mean. Mi Di Eleru. Mi Deleru. Mi Deleru. Mi Di Eleru. Di Eleru are the two words that are combined to form Deleru. So if you say Mi Deleru, or if you say Mi Di Eleru, you're correct. Ba is take. Ran is like assist. There are a variety of things that ran could mean. Ran. It could be to spread, as in a fire. It could be to spread, as in a disease. But in this context, it is assist or aid. Those are just homonyms, Ran, in this case, is assist or aid. Ba is take. Ran is assist or aid. Mi is me. Mi is me. Di is become. Di is become. Eleru is the owner of the property or load. If you want to split that word into two, you could say Onieru, the owner of the load, the property, the load, Eleru, Onieru, owner of is Oni. Oni is owner of. Ni is to have. So Oni is the one who has. So Oni is the property owner. I would start a series soon on just beginner level Yoruba and help you become someone who's able to translate any word as soon as you can identify what the central verb of the word is. So the way that most Yoruba words were formed was the verbs themselves first came to be before they were made nouns and adjectives. Ni is the central verb. The Oni is the one who has. So owner, Oni, owner of, very straightforward. Eru is property or load. Eru is property or load. Take, assist me, became the owner of the property or load is what Mi Di Eleru means. Take, assist me, became the owner of the property or load. Take, assist me is a metaphor. Is a metaphor for helper. So in this case, the character is identified by the words that are said to them. When you want somebody to assist you, you say, take, assist me. Hold this for me. Take, assist me. You put something in their hands for assistance so that you can be eased physically or even mentally, Take, assist me. It's a metaphor for the helper. So what that sentence translates to is, the helper became the owner of the property or load. Barami, the metaphor for the helper, became the owner of the property or load. I suppose you could say Barami is a metaphor that is sort of adjectival in nature. You describe somebody by what is said to them. Ba, Romi, take, assist me. Our ancestors would do a lot of multitasking. Let's say you are coming down from a lorry, for example, and this is in recent times when lorries are a kind of vehicle. I've not seen them anywhere where I live. Apart from the multitasking aspect, before I get there, if you were coming down from vehicles like lorries or something and you maybe had a baby, you placed your baby we say back babies. You had your baby on your back and you had a lot of wares to pick up or whatever, and you asked for help. That was normal. Asking for help, very, very normal thing. You could give your baby to somebody and say, oh, eba mi gbomo idani, help me hold my baby. Kin fi ko gbogbo ọjà mi, kin fi kẹ́rù mi kúrò ní ọkọ̀ while I take my wares, my property off the lorry. Let's even throw it way back. Just asking for assistance in general. is normal. Take, assist me, or take, hold it for me. That's another way to put it. Take this, hold it for me. Very, very normal. So you're using that description, that statement to describe a person that you say it to. Like, no, I don't think it's, is it an adjectival metaphor? I don't know. I don't want to think too hard about the grammatical English aspect of it. Oh, is it correct in English? You know, but just the description of a person, you know, ba on me, take, assist me, take, hold it for me, take, keep it for me, ba on me. Di Eleru becomes the owner of the property. So you give your load to somebody, or you give your akpo, your bag, and it won't be the I don't want to mention any brand. The brand bags now obviously would have just been like a cloth that was sewn with some part of the cloth made the handle for the bag. Or we even have igbanu. There are different kinds of akpo. Okay, let's say you give your bag to somebody and you want to take money out of it. You know, that kind of scenario. Ba, Rami, Di Eleru. They now start to claim that it's theirs. Perhaps they are now taking complete ownership, or in the guise that they are still very much helping you with the bag. Mi Deleru is said when someone is doing too much, taking responsibility for, or extending their reach in something that they were supposed to play a minimal role in. The role that they've now started to play is the role of the central character. They're now starting to do the most. They're supposed to help the central character in bringing it to drama. They're supposed to help the central character with rehearsing their lines, but they're now rehearsing to take the role from them. Or they are now taking the role from them and identifying themselves as the central character in the play. Mi Di Eleru. You can use Mi Deleru to describe a situation and even a person. Mi is a description of a person. You're describing them by what you say to them. Take, help me. So take, help me is a description for helper. I don't know. I'm very, very curious about. I know that it's very metaphorical in nature, so it's probably a metaphor. But I feel like that's an interesting interesting figure of speech that I need to find an accurate name for. I suppose metaphor would work for now. Take, help me. You know, if you use Mi Deleru as a description of a person, you're saying Mi Di Eleru. The person is someone who has taken over something, taken over a situation that they were supposed to play a very minute part in, you know. Or if you use it to describe a situation, you're saying that was what happened there. The person that was supposed to just play a minute, just assist, you know, now wanted to take complete ownership of the situation. There are many people in prisons and in, I suppose even at this moment that we speak, in detention centers. That's a detention sentence. Detention centers who would have gotten there, or I suppose gotten themselves arrested for doing the most. You are somebody's friend. Your friend had a fight with somebody, you know, and they told you about it, and you, out of your own infinite wisdom, thought it was your place to go to your friend's house to beat them up on behalf of your friend, I suppose as a show of some loyalty. It's very, very stupid. It's one of the most stupid things to do. And I shouldn't say that, because I'm pretty sure there would be at least one person that has done it. Oburu, oburu jai, oburu jai. If you are told something, you know, to, I suppose, to comfort the friend, or maybe the person has told you that thing to get a reaction out of you, and I suppose this one comes with age as well, or maybe it doesn't, but as life teaches you, life itself teaches you, and the people that you meet, you know, in the earthly experience that we all have in common right now, life itself will teach you to respect yourself, know your boundaries, you know, baromi, take us, and it may not even have to do with a literal property, like in the case that I've given. You went to beat up somebody on behalf of your friend so that they can say, oh, you're a good friend, or you're a loyal friend. I don't know who told people that a good test of loyalty is making somebody's enemy your enemy. I don't know who deceived people into thinking that. There are very many manifestations of Mi Deleru, and I see it all the time. All the time. You see overzealous workers who are supposed to be doing one thing, but very often like to take it upon themselves to be, I suppose, police men and women within the store, following everybody that they can lay their hands on, eyes on, that is of color around the store to see if they're going to take something that they're not supposed to take, or see if they're not going to pay for an item, or you know, very, very many manifestations of that. Overzealous workers, or overzealous friends, or overzealous, I don't know, partners. Borrow me, take, assist me, I'm going to get it back. It is still very much my problem. It is still very much my situation. I've only told you this so that you can provide assistance, or so that you can play a part in it. But when you completely take it upon yourself to completely take over the situation, Mi Deleru becomes a very good description of you and what you are doing, or a very good description of the situation. Take, help me became the owner of the property. Hold my bag for me. Hold my akpo for me. Bang makpo mi dání. Bang gbé ẹrù mi dání. Bang gbé ṣù dání. Ó ṣe wá doníṣu, ó ṣe wá dẹlẹ́rù, ó ṣe wá dalápò. You know, take, hold it for me. Assist me with it temporarily. Or I'm telling you this so that you can share my burden. Doesn't mean. Sometimes we assume, and especially the people who are, I'm not somebody who has, okay, I'm not ready to start to give information about myself, but you know, I suppose this one isn't too private. But I'm not somebody who likes to have a multitude of friends at any time, so I can't really relate that much. It could be the Capricorn in the 11th house, but I don't know how to maintain friendships. I suppose it's a minus. I think it's a plus. So in my experience, it has been a plus because I don't have friend trouble. But for those who like to dedicate themselves into friendships, a lot of people have very narrowly escaped severe trouble for that reason. Many times they interpret it as, oh, if my friend has told me something, it means that I must do something extra on their behalf as a way of showing them love. Or if you're going to do anything as a good friend, the focus should be on the friend that is hurt, not in hurting others on their behalf. So I'm going to deflate my friend's husband's tires just because he was mean to her at some point. The focus should be on your friend, on advising your friend, not on them. Because many times it leads to trouble. Many times things get out of hand. You know, there are many, I mean, if you go to, there are several YouTubers that treat like crime cases, and I like to watch them, and very many times it's either a girlfriend killing somebody else's, the person that they're dating's wife, just because they think that if they do so, they will relieve their I don't know whether to even say concubine, or they will relieve him of the stress of being in that tedious marriage. You know, if he wants to leave the marriage, he will leave the marriage. It's not your place, it's not your duty, you know. Or maybe don't even engage in that kind of nonsense. But anyway, Mi Di Eleru. So if you hear it used to describe a person or used to describe a situation, that's what it means. Take help me, take assist me. The helper has now become the person with the problem, you know, the person with the burden, the person with the load or the property, now claiming ownership of the whole thing, so much so that they either let it get out of hand, you know, or they make things worse, or they don't even help the person that they should be helping at all. Mi, take help me, has become the owner of the property. If you have any questions about this, don't hesitate to ask. If you have an experience to share, please, the comment sections are always too dry. Please tell me your experience, or tell us all anything that we can learn from. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your time. If you enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up and share with your friends. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.
Àtẹ́tẹ́ ààrẹ yìí pàṣẹ kó sí Yemọja lé mi lọ kẹ́rẹ́ òkun lódò lọ́mọ̀lá Yemọja tẹ̀rẹ̀ gbọ́kọ̀ mọ̀mọ̀mọ̀ kábí ọmọdé rí àkó ẹ wá wá rúgbó odò tí ìjẹ́ ègbó funfun yóò kú ni yóò yé ní èmi ọmọ ọ̀dà mi lójú tàjá sáré Yemọja nìyá kọ̀ mi ò tẹ́tẹ́ ààrẹ yìí.